Hey there, Coach Devin here. We are talking Israel Adesanya. He is an MMA fighter. He had a big fight just last weekend, and we're going to talk a little bit about gynecomastia with Israel Adesanya and PEDs. All right, before we get going, please click the link, like, and subscribe down below. I make these videos because I'm trying to pass on information. I've been a trainer for 26, I don't even remember how many years now. 26 years I've been a trainer. So the whole point of this is I'm trying to pass on information about health and fitness in general so I can help you get more fit, or you can learn a little bit about health and fitness in general. The reason I do it is not to make money. I don't have that many followers. I don't make a ton of money on this stuff. It's just to provide information. I love this. This is my passion, so I want to pass it on to you. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends. That would be helpful for me, and I would really appreciate it. All right. Israel, I'm just going to call him Israel because I keep Adesanya, I keep screwing up his last name. It's hard to say. I keep messing it up. So rather than butchering his name, I'm just going to say Israel. I had a big fight. His opponent, pretty jacked, looks like a fighter, right? He looks like a fighter, and everybody's like, oh, he's on PEDs. I got to say, when I saw the clips of the fight, I'm not a big MMA guy. I'll be honest with you. I watch football. I like football. I've never been a big MMA guy. I like boxing, but you know, boxing has gotten a little boring. Overall, MMA has become huge, and I like I'll watch MMA from time to time, but not a lot. I find it a bit much for me. Anyway, what I find interesting is there was a bit of talk about Israel. He had a big win. He kicked the other guy's butt. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is amazing." The other guy looks like he's on juice. Okay. I'm going to break a couple things down quick, and then my thoughts on Israel and his PED use, which he's doing. Here's my thoughts. I mean, just because somebody is muscular does not mean they are juiced up. They're not necessarily on enhancements. They're not necessarily taking PEDs. That's not a thing. You can't always eyeball it. I mean, you can at times. If you look at somebody and they get huge overnight, yeah, definitely you know something's going on. But just looking at the guy off the cuff, he could be natural. Like, you know what I mean? It's a 50-50 for me. His opponent, it's possible. Israel, on the other hand, I'm going to throw up a picture right now. As you can see, he has progressed. His body's changed a bit over the years. What I see is gynecomastia. Gynecomastia, which we're going to call gyno, is short form for it. It's called gyno. What it means is when you take a drug like testosterone, okay, which is a performance enhancer, it's a steroid. If you take an anabolic steroid, as a man, it will drive up your testosterone level, but your estrogen level also will rise. Because of that, you need antiestrogens, things like Novadex and Arimidex and stuff like that. That's a drug you take to offset it. So if you're a bodybuilder, you have to do that stuff, because if you don't, you get something called gyno. Gyno is the growth of female breast tissue for men. So their nipples start to get bigger, and they get very sensitive. Men have, their nipples start to hurt. Then they actually start to grow breast tissue, and that's where you get gyno. You've seen it with bodybuilders many times over the years. I've thrown up a couple pictures here. It happens. And if you see somebody with gyno, okay, you see somebody growing breast tissue who never grew breast tissue before. Now, some people have different levels of testosterone in their body. It happens. That's one of those things. Some people are prone to gyno, other people are not. But with a guy like Israel, who's been an athlete for a long time, and we're looking and I'm like, why do you have boobs? What is going on? That is surefire guarantee, yes, that's PED use. That's what it is. It's anabolic steroids. You're using them. There's no question about it. Now, I know a lot of the things that happen from this is people say, well, Devin, no. They can't be taking steroids. Steroids make you big and strong. Yeah, kind of. Steroids also make you a better athlete in general, but steroids don't necessarily make you big and strong. There's many different kinds of steroids out there. There's lots of them. And it also depends on how you train. You're not going to be a bodybuilder if you train like an MMA fighter. Lance Armstrong, throw up a picture of him. Does that guy look like he is juiced up to the max? No. People are not going to say, oh, that Lance Armstrong, God damn, Lance Armstrong, if I could talk. Gosh, he's so big, he's so muscular. No, they're not going to say that. Why are they not going to say it? Because guess what? Lance didn't train for that. So yes, everybody knows Lance was using performance enhancers. I mean, that's just common knowledge nowadays. All the people in the Tour de France are using it. Everybody knows the deal. Like, none of us are sitting around going, oh, well, that didn't actually happen. We know what happened. I mean, it's a guarantee. He was thrown out of the sport. He lost all his titles. Like, all those things, they happen. Lance Armstrong is not enormous. He's just not. He looks like a thin, very fit guy. That's what he looks like. So performance enhancers don't necessarily, and the anabolic steroids don't necessarily make you big. You're not going to be Ronnie Coleman just because you take a performance enhancer. You're not going to be Dexter Jackson. You're not going to be Phil Heath. You're not going to look like an NFL linebacker. It doesn't work that way. But guaranteed, every single time, if you've got gynecomastia, if you've got gyno, and I can see it, like I can with Israel, that means you're using performance enhancers. And what is amazing to me on this is, this stuff is not rocket science, okay? You can read about it on the internet now on what to do about getting gyno. Google it. Super simple. You Google it, you go, oh, I need Novadex, I need Arimidex, I need whatever I need. I need an anti-estrogen drug that will solve my problem. You won't have boobs. You won't start growing female tissue on your chest, men. It won't happen to you if you Google it. The problem that Israel and all the fighters and pro athletes have is they're trying to slide under the radar and beat drug tests. Well, you can't take antiestrogens because it pops up, right? So they have to do it other ways. He obviously is somebody who is prone to gaining breast tissue, female breast tissue, because when he takes drugs. It's not rocket science. You just look at him and I'm like, he walked out. Somebody sent me a video of it and he walked out and I was like, oh, dude, oh, that's not good. That's bad. What are you doing? If I can do it that fast, he's on. No questions asked. And listen, in the end of the day, whether he's taking it or not, I'm not, again, like I said, I'm not a huge MMA guy. I don't watch MMA. I'm not an MMA junkie. You know what? It's tangential to me. Really, I'm not super into MMA. I just don't get. And what I'm trying to do here is explain to everybody that it's not how you look necessarily, muscular-wise, on whether or not you're taking it. Lance Armstrong is case in point. Israel, another case in point. He doesn't look jacked. He looks like a fit basketball player. Really, I mean, that's what he's actually small for some basketball players. Doesn't mean he's not a badass fighter. Guy is a bad man. I mean, he can fight like nobody's business. Saw some videos, I was like, wow, that dude can fight. Good for him. Like, well done. I certainly wouldn't rip him on his fighting ability. Like, not at all. But is he taking drugs? Yes. That's a fact. He's taking drugs. There's no way around it. You don't just grow breast tissue, female breast tissue, because you happen to be walking around on the street and it happens. That's not the way your body works. He wasn't growing it before. It wasn't there before, but suddenly he's doing it. And then, you know what? In the end of the day, this is just bad. Whoever his doctor is not prescribing well. They're not taking care of him the right way. I mean, you should not be doing this stuff. Dude, it's not rocket science not to grow this stuff. Come on now, you're beating us over the head with, hey, look at what I'm doing. Like, again, if you want to take drugs to perform well in a sport, I guess, I don't know, like, I'm not here or there on that. I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of taking drugs in sport. All I'm saying is Israel definitely is taking performance enhancers for that fight. It's obvious. Just look at his chest. Facts are there. Proof is there. It is what it is. You don't get gynecomastia without steroid use. You can't. Sorry. It is what it is. You have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I'd love to hear from you. This idea was sent to me by a good friend of mine who said, Dad, his chest looks really weird. Why does his chest look like that? And I said, let me see. And I grabbed his phone and took a look, and I was like, ooh, that's Gyno. So I do talk a lot about things that come up and that people send me. So send me stuff, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, share this with your friends. This is just my way of trying to give back and give you some more information about health and fitness. I hope everybody has an amazing day out there today. Don't fight the awesome. And stay off the PEDs.